Good morning, everyone. I am Ishwar V. Patil, faculty from Aeronautical Department, and our department is offering the subject for the open elective is Airline and Airport Operations. The subject code is 22E753, and the credit for this subject is 3. And so, what are the course objectives if you are choosing this subject? Is you will understand about the ATC systems, flight information system, that is nothing but the FIS, and what is the aerodrome system, and what are the types of aerodromes, and why the aerodromes are important in the aviation industry, and we will learn about the navigation systems. So there will be 5 units, and in the first unit, it will consist of the air traffic control system, that is nothing but the ATCS. And in ATCS, we'll study about the VFR and IFR, nothing but the visual flight rules and the instrumental flight rules. And we'll study about the classification of the ATS and the different airspace and how it works and how the ATC will helping the different airspace with according to the altimeter and its procedure and how the rules and regulations will be followed by the ATC and how the DGCA will create the rules and what are the divisions and responsibilities of the control for the ATS and ATC. In the unit 2, you will study about the air traffic systems where you are studying about the area control services, cruise level, minimum flight altitudes, significant points, area navigation systems, and area performance. Then the lateral and the longitudinal separations based upon the time and the distance. That is nothing but the range and endurance, and how the ATC will be. ATC clearance will be there, and about the plans or the flight paths. In the unit 3, you will study about the flight information system, where how the radar system works and what is a radar and what are the primary radars, secondary radars performance. So how it approaches, how the ATC control will help or radar will help the ATCs and the pilot for the communication and how it will give the assurance control, alerting devices and the coordination and the emergency procedures and all these things will study in the unit 3. In unit 4, we'll study about the aerodrome data. So it is nothing but the what are the aerodrome data, how the aerodrome reference code will be, reference point will be, and how the elevation will take place, what is the threshold point. So what will be the temperature, pressure, that is nothing but the atmospheric conditions. And based upon the atmospheric condition, how the aircraft works, and all these things. And we'll study about the physical characters, that is nothing but the how the runway, taxiway, apron length, size, depth, and how what are the materials we are going to use, and all these things we will study in the unit 4. In the unit 5, we will study about the navigation system. So it is nothing but the visual aids. That is nothing but the wind direction, that is wind T, and all these things we will study. And we will study about the ILS, instrument landing system, precision approach path indicator, visual approach slope indicator, markings, light requirements, aerodrome beacons, and how it will affect the obstacles, and all these things, how the precision will work in the ATC with the pilot, and all these things we will study in the unit 5. So, and after studying this, what are the course outcomes or what are the things you will learn from this subject is you will study about the basic concept of the ATC. You will study or the compare with the different ATS systems. You will study about the flight information system, and you will learn about the aerodrome data and the navigation systems. If you are studying well, right, so if you are studying well in this subject, so you can be a aircraft maintenance engineer, airport instructor, and ATC. And especially in the aviation industry, what happens, except the aeronautical jobs are very less when you compare to the other departments. So for example, civil people will having the lot of scopes for the constructions, ENC, triple E, electronics and telecommunication, they will having the huge role in the ATC. And for IS and CS people, they will having the major roles in the communication parts and for the AI domains. And these are the basic textbooks which you have to refer for these subjects. And this is a scheme of evaluations, that is CIE marks, 30 and 30, IA1 and IA2. It consists of 30 plus 30, that is 60 marks for a combination of two IS, two assignments, that is 10 plus 10, 20, and course project will be 20 marks, and total 100 marks. And so in IA you have to score out of 60, you have to score 20, 24 marks, and total 40 marks out of 100, you have to score 40 marks. Yeah, thank you. So if you have any doubts, you can contact me. All right, yeah, thank you.
Morning, all students. I am Professor Seena Kalgadgi from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I am working as assistant professor, and our department is offering the subject open elective, that is database management systems. It is for offered for aeronautical, EC, E&E, and mechanical. So before diving into how useful it is, I would like to tell you the details of the subject, like the credits and all. So the code is 22CS 752. The type of this course is open elective, and the total credits is 3 credits, that is 40 hours. The CIE marks will be for 100 and SWE also will be 100 marks. So the eligibility criteria remains as it is for the 3 credit course, that is out of 60 you have to score 24, and out of 40 you have to score 12. But as it is 3 credit course, so there is no lab for this. In the syllabus, if you see, for the prerequisites, they have mentioned that basics of programming language and set theory, but for your kind note, there is not a necessity. There is no necessity that the basics of any programming language is needed for this particular subject. You can start a fresh course for database management systems, and you will be done for it. So, to go for the next one, why does database management system studying as a subject matters to all of the branches? As we know now that data is new oil and data is very important. It is central to all the engineering disciplines. So if you go through this course, you will be able to manage the data, organize it properly, and access data efficiently. So it's like you are working in the back end. So if you go through this, you will come to know how data in its digital form helps you tremendously. So what exactly you are going to learn? So whatever we are going to learn here doesn't depend on any programming language. So please be clear with this and make a important note of this. There is no requirement that you need to know C concepts, C programming concepts, or any other programming concepts for this particular course. You can start afresh, and you can be, you can get a hold of this subject properly. So we are particularly from the unit 1, we are going to learn all about the introduction and the characteristics of database management system, and the softwares that are used to organize this all data properly in any enterprise or any companies. You will be able to organize them and be an administrator there. So you can use this course as a prerequisite to be a data analyst or be a data administrator or database designer also. That is where it is in high demand when it comes to the corporate. So the mechanical and E&E domains, you can have the sensor data logging systems for machine. And for E&E, you by using this course, you can do PLC data logging and monitoring. For ENC and aeronautical, you can you can have communication log signal processing metadata, and you can also have database support for AI and ML models and IoT systems too. So career, as from the career aspect, as I told before, you can have data science in future, be a data analyst. You can have the prerequisite as database management system course, and you can become a database administrator, database designer, data analyst, and you can make or grab a place in your placements. So being from other department, if you have in your CV that you have gone through a course of database management system, it will fetch you and grab you a place in the placements. So the other part of all the unit wise introduction, it will be told you to the class when you come to the class. Thank you.
Very good morning, students. I'm Professor Namita Bhatt from Computer Science and Engineering Department. I welcome all you to object-oriented programming using Java. The course code for this course is 22CS 753. It is basically a 3 credit course. Uh, 3 credits for theory, and there is no lab component for this course. However, you will be learning a few concepts of programming in the class itself. And the total contact hours for this course is 40, and internal assessment marks is 100 marks, whereas SWE also has 100 marks. And prerequisites for this course is basics of C. And here they have also mentioned that you will have to have knowledge of object oriented programming, but however, this is not mandatory. But you should be having some basics of like one of the programming languages. It is not like you should be having the basics of C only. You can have the knowledge of any programming language. And what are the objectives of learning this course? So, the first objective of this course is to understand Java core, the concept of Java here. And also, you will be introduced with object oriented programming principles. And the second objective is to demonstrate encapsulation. These are the principles of object oriented programming: encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. And also, you will learn how to handle exceptions, which are nothing but errors which can be handled in real programs. And also, you will apply the collections framework, which is used to implement the data structures. Okay. Now, how this learning this course is relevant to the industry, or what are you going to gain from learning this course? So we know that most of the industry you use Java for their programming, and you can also become the Android developer, or object oriented programming is the foundation of software design in the industry. We all know this, right? And even this Java is needed for the back end development, and also for the Android development, and implementation of the data structures. So after learning this course, you will have strong base for the Java basics. And now let us look at the brief overview of the course. So in Unit 1, we will learn about the basics of Java. So the characteristics of Java, and why Java is important, etc. And you will be learning the arrays, and the object-oriented programming paradigm. And in Unit 2, you will be introduced to the methods in the sense functions, like you have studied in C, and also the constructors, and the access modifiers. So in Unit 3, you will learn about the main concept or main characteristics of the object oriented programming, like inheritance, method overriding, and abstract classes. In Unit 4, you will be introduced to the interfaces, and how to handle errors which can be handled like practically. The errors which can be handled, so that is called exception. So that you will learn in Unit 4. And in Unit 5, you will be learning about the lambda expressions, and also how to implement the data structures in Java using Java collections. So this is the brief overview of all the units which you are going to study throughout your semester. And apart from these 5 units, so you will also have a flipped classroom. So 10 hours of flipped learning is dedicated to this course, where uh, every unit will be having 2 hours of like flipped classes. And in the flipped class, I'll be providing you some material, or the YouTube videos. So you will have to go through that material, and it is like a self study. So in the next class, you will be asked about that particular concept, maybe through assignments, or through quizzes. So in this course, we are going to use the NetBeans or Eclipse. So I will be preferring the NetBeans IDE to implement any codes. So this is the assessment scheme. As you all already know, we have CIE marks of 100, and this consists of two IA tests, which are of 30 marks each. So total 60 marks is for IA test, and you will be given one assignment or one MOOC course or one certification course. So which is of 20 marks, and you will also have like mini project or some assignment kind of thing, which is based on the real time scenario. Again, it is of 20 marks. So, total 100 marks. 60 marks is for your IA test, and 20 marks for your assignments, and 20 marks for the mini project. And the remaining 100 marks is for your SEE, where you will be having three sections. And what are you going to learn from this course? So you will learn to know how to apply Java and OOP concepts to solve real world problems, and how to use exception handling and interfaces, and again how to apply these to your like scenario based questions. Then how to work with the data structures using collections, and demonstration of learning through a project. Okay, so these are the course outcomes of this course. Now, after learning this course, what are the career opportunities you can grab? So, you can become Java developer if you are really interested in Java. You can do some advanced course, because this course is the basic course. So, if you want to pursue your career in Java, then you have to do some advanced course. So, you can become Java developer or Android app developer, and if you are really very good at programming, you can also become backend developer, which uses Spring Boot. Like most of the industries use Spring Boot for the backend development. And you can also become automation tester. If you're not very good at programming, then you can become automation tester. And also, you have one more opportunity as a data engineer, which is basically which uses Java based ETL. Okay. So these are the references for your course: Java Fundamentals from Shield and Skirin, and Programming with Java by Balaguru Swami. And apart from this, these two books, we also have some online courses, NPTEL Java course we have. So the links are given below. And you can also learn from W3 schools or Free Code Camp. So these are some of the online resources. Okay. Thank you, students. If you are really interested in taking up this course, you can contact. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Raghvendra Jadhav from Computer Science Department. So we are going to offer you one subject, Introduction to Cybersecurity. The course code is 22CS755. So this course type is obviously it is open elective course, and with the credits 300. Okay. So total contact hours is 40 hours, and flip class are totally 5 hours a semester. Next slide. Okay. There are four course learning objectives, like understanding the basics of cybersecurity and key issues, learn about the security threats and countermeasures, how you're going to avoid those threats. Thirdly, we have a promote responsible use of online social media, how exactly responsibly we can use the social media like Facebook, Insta, and so on. Okay, and next is explore different cyber security tools. Like we have got so many different cyber security tools that can be used to secure ourselves. Okay, and to go for ethical hacking, not for a kind of some kind of attack. Okay, so there are so many tools that we can use. Next for this, the prerequisite is basically you require the understanding of computer networks, and basically, obviously, everyone knows now internet, so that's sufficient, and that's not a big deal. Next is the course content. There are 5 units: Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4 and Unit 5. Okay, so this is the content of these units. That is, first unit is belongs to Introduction to Cybersecurity, that carried for 8 hours. So that includes what is cyberspace, what is web technology, how the what's the architecture is, what is internet and internet society regulation, what exactly the data transfer infrastructure challenges in cybersecurity. So it's all about the introduction about the cybersecurity, which is going to give you the knowledge regarding the cybersecurity basics. In the second unit, what you have is different kinds of cyber crimes against the computers, how women and children's are being blackmailed, or kind of uh, the hackers can misuse certain make use of certain tools, and make misuse of those, and target women and children's. And then obviously you heard about the financial frauds. Nowadays there are so many people who get make a fraud to the innocent people. And next, what is malware? Like, malware is kind of a kind of virus itself. How exactly it will work and how it affects the system, that is all about malware. And ransomware is a kind of code where once it is get installed, it's quite difficult for a user to work on the same system until unless you don't pay for that person who created or launch the ransomware, then he will take back that attack. So that is all about the ransomware. Then there are certain legal perspectives that are came into picture, and there are act called as IT Act 2000, and there are certain case studies that we are going to see. And then there is a law organization which is belongs to cyber security, that we are going to learn in the second unit. And in the third unit, what we are going to learn is uh, it's all about the what exactly the social network is, what are the different platforms and hashtags, monitoring. Like, there may be a number of units who will be monitoring you. Okay, maybe probably these Instagram or WhatsApp, they say that they don't capture our data, but maybe at the other end they may be monitoring you people, what exactly you're doing. So that's create a privacy issue of a person being using these apps. Then what do you mean by flagging and reporting? If you have any cases, you can report back. Then what are the best practices that you can implement, okay, so that you will not be victim of any kind of issues. Okay, and what are the legal things that you can come across in the cybersecurity domain. And here also we will study some further certain case studies. And in the fourth unit, what we are going to learn is what is e-commerce and digital payment, like the things which relevant to e-commerce security, digital payment modes, and fraud prevention. There are certain guidelines which have been provided by the RBI, and certain acts that we are going to study over here. And in the last unit, that is digital device security, tools and technologies, we are going to make use of certain tools, okay, like firewalls, antivirus, certain security patches, okay, and we are going to make certain configurations so that our system is going to be get secured and it is not been affected by any kind of uh, hacking activity. Okay, so these are the very interesting things that you can learn over here. Next, these are the certain books that you can refer. And in the importance with this subject uh, uh, that pertains to the industry is it's in high demand, because obviously whenever you just even you use the Insta or Facebook, it is really required that you should be aware of security aspects. So there is a high demand in the industry, that is because growing need of cybersecurity experts across all the industry, because there is a huge growth in the IT. So obviously you require a specific cyber security experts to handle their company needs. So second is risk mitigation. It helps prevent financial and data losses due to the cyber attacks. Okay, so uh, to help the company to prevent it from certain financial losses, the cybersecurity experts are required. Next, legal compliances. Obviously, to handle this kind of attacks, there is a requirement of a knowledge of laws to ensure business meets regulatory requirements. Next is tech relevance. It is useful for securing modern technologies like cloud, IoT, and AI. Obviously, we are moving towards a cloud, IoT, and AI. So obviously, it's our responsibility that we should secure these kind of technologies right from the hackings. Next is career boost. Obviously, there are certain certifications that you can go through if you learn this as a basic step for understanding or to go through these certifications. Next is it is cross-disciplinary. That is, it is valuable for roles in IT, management, and digital marketing. Obviously, if you want to get into this kind of roles, obviously you should be knowing the basics of cybersecurity. Only then you can easily manage everything. Okay, if you have any queries, you can ask me anytime. Okay, thank you.
So, warm welcomes to all the people who are watching this video. As an introductory session of open electives for 7th semester, Department of Civil Engineering is offering two open electives. The first one is Urban Transport System and Planning, and the other one is Environmental Impact Assessment. So, coming to urban transport system planning, it is being taken by me, that is Professor Karthik Dukani, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering. So, this course has been offered to 7th semester students. The reason being offering this course is we know that as the days are going on, the urbanization has been increasing rapidly. The populations that are moving from rural areas to the urban areas are increasing very rapidly. That could be because of their jobs or increased lifestyles and all, due to which we find that there is a huge number of population that is migrating from rural areas to the urban areas. More number of vehicles are being owned nowadays, which is one of the reason of urbanization. On the other hand, due to this urbanization, there is a lot more number of vehicles that are growing, but the infrastructure facilities that are available for the transportation remains as it is, or they are increasing at a very slower rate compared to the increase in the travel demand. That's the reason we find that there are a lot more amount of congestions, traffic jams in the cities. We usually notice on our day-to-day life, we stand in the signals, traffic signals, we wait in the queues. The reason is increase in the urbanization, increase in the vehicle ownerships, but the increase in the transportation infrastructure are at a very slow rate. The demand and supply are in imbalance. The demand that is required is not met by the supply. That's the reason we see this lot more of congestions. Not only congestions, because of this, we also find a lot more of environmental pollutions because of the deadly gases that are released by the vehicles, that is causing the harm to the environment and all. And also because of increased number of vehicles, we also find that there are a lot more number of accidents which are going to take place. So with this note, we are introducing this urban transport system planning. And note that if we understand how does this function, and how we know, if we know how this transport planning is going to take place, we can ease these congestions. We can plan such a way that there are lesser congestions, there are lesser pollutions. So with this note, we'll start the introduction of this course. This course has this course has 5 units. Okay, the unit 1 corresponds to introduction to this subject, that is what is transportation, how are the socio-economic activities are related to transportation. Because of transportation, we find all the socio-economic activities, the historical development of the transportation and all, and future developments. We'll be introducing to what is urban transport system planning, the steps of urban transport system plannings. It basically involves the four major steps, which is known as trip generation, trip distribution, mode choice or modal split, and route assignment. Generation is nothing but trip is nothing but a journey which has a certain definite start or an origin and an end or a destination. So we divide the entire area into different zones. What are the how many number of trips have been generated from each of these zones, and how many number of trips have been attracted to each of these zones? We'll be estimating that. That is trip generations. As it can be seen from the image, trip generation, we write down the zones in this fashion, and each zone, how many trips are produced from the zone and how many trips are attracted to that zone. This is trip generation. We'll be analyzing what is trip generation and all. We have certain models for that, so through which we can analyze this. And the next step in this transport planning, urban transport planning, is distribution. Trip distribution is nothing but
We know the number of trips that have been generated or produced in a particular zone, number of trips that have been attracted in a particular zone. So ultimately, the number of trips that have been generated, how they are distributed within these zones. You can see from the table, the trip distribution, we have a matrix. We write the zones here, produced zone, and these are the attracted zones. And from each zone, how many trips are produced and how many trips are attracted. So we find the distribution of the trips for the given study area. The next portion is mode choice. Once we know that the number of trips have been generated, these have been attracted, we find the distribution matrix and all. By which mode does the people prefer to go? Like two-wheeler, cars, public transport like buses and all, metros. If you go for metropolitan cities, we find metros, monorails and all. So in which mode is like, suitable for them based on their economic status and all, we find the mode choices. Again, we have different models for that. And once the mode has been fixed, the next one is the last step in this is the assignment of the route or trip assignment. So we find the best road networks. We assign the strip to that road network based on capacity of the road, volume of the road, and the amount of time that is required to make this journey. This trip assignment will be the function of this time, volume of the road, and capacity of the road, and impedance factors. So this is what the basically four-step process of urban transport planning is. So these have been converted into different units. Now, as you see, unit 2 deals with trip generation and mode choice. How the trip production is, analysis of the trip productions and all categories of this. Then how the people are going to choose this. What are the factors that affect the mode choices and all. Then there we have different models for this. We'll be studying some of the models and some case studies in this. Then coming to the next unit, that is unit number 3, we find the trip distribution analysis. We'll be plotting this trip as explained earlier, the trip distribution, the productions and trip attractions. We form this trip distribution matrix where we can see that the origin and destinations and the number of trips that have been produced from a given zone. Again, we have different models for that to study the distribution analysis. We have their own advantages and disadvantages. We'll be looking into this. And the last question is route assignment. How is your route assignment is done or the trip assigned for a given transport network? The minimum path algorithm, the route assignment techniques. We have different techniques for that. We'll be looking at one of them. And coming to the fourth unit, we know that what is the fourth step of the urban planning. Uh, to obtain the data for this planning process, we need to do some surveys. So the fourth unit mainly deals with the types of surveys. We have different types of surveys: home interview survey, commercial vehicle survey, the intermediate public surveys, cordon line surveys, postcard surveys. Okay, so we have different surveys which are applicable for different purposes. We'll be seeing which survey is applicable for which of the methods and all. And one more topic which is in this unit is land use models. The entire region, we know that the entire city will be divided into different parts like residential zone, commercial zone, industrial zone. And so how does this zone is going to influence the trip generation and trip distribution behavior? We call it as land use. Based on the type of the land use, how the trip generation and trip productions will be affected. We have again a model for that, which is known as Lorry models. We'll be studying that in detail. Now coming to the last unit of this course, we have the urban structures, which is mainly deals with the spatial arrangements and organizations of the different elements of the cities. We have different types of urban structures: centripetal, grid type, and linear type. For example, if you take the grid type, Chandigarh is a city in near Delhi, which is a grid type urban structure. Linear refers to the city will be growing in a single direction or a mono direction. So we'll be studying the different types of urban structures in this. And on the last, we'll be mainly looking into, briefly looking into the urban goods movement. So we have mainly looked into passenger transport. We'll be slightly studying the details of urban goods movement, which is going to be one of the major contributions of your traffic and all. We'll be studying a small portion of that also. So these are the 5 units of this course. Thank you. Thank you for your patience listening.
Right. Yes. Good morning, all. As Karthik mentioned, Department of Civil Engineering is offering one urban transport and planning.
which will be the class will be conducted by Professor Karthik Kulkarni. And the second elective is about relating to the environment, which you have already studied as environmental studies. A part of it you have studied, which we talk about EIA, or in other words, Environmental Impact Assessment, with the subject code 22CV752. And I'll be conducting classes myself, Professor Nitin Deshpande. So, broad classification about EIA will be mentioned in the syllabus that you are going to take. Usually, this EIA talks about the potential impact that is caused because of different projects related to civil engineering, and this usually is required to identify the environmental protection. The second one is sustainable development. When I say environmental protection, the negative impacts that are going to happen to air, soil, water, and biodiversity. And also, when I talk about sustainable development, how the economic growth is going to be considered in connection with the environmental conservations that we are going to do, and we need to provide long term sustainability that we need to mention. And also, this EIA talks about legal compliance. The country, many countries are legally following this rule to start off certain major projects like mining project, power plant project, or highway project. And with this, we can come up with some decision making, so that the policymakers and stakeholders will be considered before approving any project. Public participation also comes into picture to hear what may be the impact and influence that may be caused because of the project. And also, it talks about the risk management that is going to come with the health hazards to the human and to the society. It may be in the form of landslides, pollution, and floods. And the cost saving, how this environmental project is going to have or identify some ways of having the project get delayed, etc. Right. So EIA can be taken into large scale picture also, like we can go for networking of uh, industry plant. Before start of industry plant, then we can have infrastructure for roads and airports, dams, mining operation, and power generation. So since this is a broad picture related to civil engineering, so it talks relevant to industries as well as the major civil engineering projects which will come, and which needs the consent of this report called as EIA report, Environmental Impact Assessment report. With this brief introduction, I am going to discuss to you the syllabus related to EIA. So it is 3 hours lecture course with total hours as 40, and we need to know what are the objectives. Like we need to know what is EIA and EIS, environmental impact assessment, and environmental impact significance. And also we need to discuss something. What is the role of Ministry of Environment and Forest in environmental impact assessment, and also the various methods, and what are the environmental impacts that are caused because of some activities that are relevant to civil based projects. So the unit number 1 talks about the developmental activities and ecological parameters. And also it talks about how rapid and comprehensive EIA will come, the EIA, EIS, and FONSE, and its need of having the EIA study and baseline information, and also how the step by step procedures are there to have or conduct a EIA for certain civil engineering projects. And also the second unit talks about the framework, the developmental projects, the objectives, the methodologies, and the techniques with the salient features of certain projects, which talks only about environmental parameter. And the third unit talks about the assessment and prediction that comes, which may get impact on air, water, noise, and biological components. Also, some of the impacts we classify it as socio-cultural or socio-economical problems. And here we have introduced what is called as carbon footprint, because this is a gray area for civil engineering, where the production of carbon content is more. So how to minimize it and what are the remedial measures. And also the fourth unit talks in detail about how the public participation and decisions that are made, and also the case studies which highlight how the EIA report is prepared. And the last unit is entirely on EIA based projects for water resource, for developmental activities like infrastructure work, etc. So it usually we have case studies related to water resource developmental projects, highway projects, mining, power plant, infrastructure, etc. So this is something which is important when any industry or when any setup is made for infrastructure work, then the consent for EI is an essential component. So this is how the syllabus is framed right from beginning of its uh, component to the end of its practical applications along with the case studies. This particular AI has been considered, that is environmental impact assessment. And also these are some of the textbooks and reference books if you take this particular subject. And also there is a Swayam course or an NPTEL course linked with EIA which you can refer for a further process. And these are some CI and SWE components. So what are the application of EIA? As I told you, it helps you in giving the report concerned to infrastructure development like roads, bridges, airports, dam, and you need to identify what are the impacts that are being caused and what is the mitigation measure related to it. Industrial projects, like you need to know what is the flow chart for that particular industry for production purpose, and then you need to come up with what may be the treatment or mitigation measures to it. And also in terms of urban, we can come across what type of component related to air is getting contaminated or water that is getting contaminated, and then you can provide the mitigation measure to it. So this particular subject talks about national and international environmental laws, and that are linked with the environmental protection agencies. And also it protects also it promotes to have green technologies in practice for project implementation. And usually EIA it goes by 6 steps, that is screening and scoping, assessment of environmental risk, mitigations, decision making, and monitoring. So these are some of the parameters which are considered in framing the syllabus related to EIA. So if you are interested, you can go ahead with this subject. A lot of things you are going to study, and also there are some case studies which will be linked to this particular subject, live case studies which will be linked to the subject. So thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, students. This is Professor Ramesh GB from Electrical Department. So I am here to introduce the Electrical Energy Conservation and Auditing course. The course code is 22EE OE 755. So as we know, course this course comprises of uh, 5 units. So before that, so let us so let me give some introduction about the course. So the course code is 22EP6 33. Course type is PEC, and this is a 3 credit course, and as usual it is 40 hours, and the year in the flipped class content is 5 hours, as you know. And the prerequisites for this course is basic electrical engineering and power system. So little bit knowledge of basic electrical engineering is required, because we are going to study about electrical energy conservation. You should be knowing about what is electrical current, voltage, power, energy. So then it is very easy to understand this subject, and little bit introduction about power system, even the generation, transmission and distribution. You should be aware about how energy being transmitted and distributed and is being used by or utilized by the load system. And it comprises of 5 units. Unit number 1. Okay, so it will be giving details about the energy scenario, wherein we'll be discussing about renewable and non-renewable energy sources and the Indian energy scenario. So what is the current energy scenario, uh, and energy policy, energy intensity, purchasing, power parity, energy sector reforms. So all these things will be discussed in unit number 1. And also we'll be discussing about Energy Conservation Act uh, 2001 and its features. It is one of the important part of this unit. And in unit number 2, we'll be discussing about energy management and audit. So basically, in this course, we are going to learn about how to conserve energy, especially electrical energy by different sources. So and also how to audit that energy. So if you start using energy, so once you uh, sorry, if you audit the energy, so then you'll come to know where exactly we are so wasting energy and how we can conserve energy at different places. So in this particular unit, second unit, so we'll be briefing about or we'll be knowing about energy management and so audit procedures we'll be discussing in this so in detail. So all the parameters will be considered, electrical parameters, and we are going to learn about the audit. And unit number 3 here, the energy efficiency in electrical systems. So wherein the electricity billing, electrical load management, maximum demand control, these are some of the important aspects. So as far as energy conservation is concerned, so and also we'll be discussing one more important point, that is power factor improvement. Okay, so by improving the power, how we can conserve energy. So that can also be learned in this particular section, and also by locating capacitors. Okay, so how we can improve the power factor and performance assessment of power factor capacitors and distribution transformer losses. Okay, so transformer losses also very much important consideration in terms of electrical energy conservation, that will be learning in unit number 3. And also, so in the unit number 3, we will also be discussing about energy efficient electric motors. Okay, so we'll be learning about motor efficiency and factors affecting the performance, uh, motor performance, and many more concepts will be discussed here, and also energy saving opportunities in electric motors. And in last unit, sorry, in fourth unit, we'll be discussing about once again the loads like fans and blowers, and also lighting system here, wherein so what are the opportunities we have to conserve energy. So that will be discussed in both in fans and blowers as well as lighting system. Different lighting system will be introduced here in this unit, and what are the illumination levels required for a particular application, and types of lamps and different types of sources. All these concepts will be discussed here in unit number 4. In unit number 5, once again, it will be continued version of unit number 4. So still more energy efficient technologies will be introduced to you in this unit number 5. So and also we'll be discussing about energy efficient motors, maximum demand controllers, energy efficient transformers, electronic ballast, okay, and energy efficient lighting controls, energy saving potential in each technology will be discussed in unit number 5 overall. So in the unit number 1, we'll be discussing about the energy scenario overall. What is the current energy scenario in India as well as at global level? And unit number 2 will be discussing about auditing of electrical energy. In unit number 3, 4, 5 will be focusing on how to conserve energy. Means we'll be learning about different energy efficient technologies. Okay, so overall this particular course will be concentrating on energy conservation, the two electrical energy conservation and auditing of that particular energy. After auditing, we'll come to know where exactly we are wasting power. So that can be and how we can conserve the energy. And after going through this particular course, okay, so what are the skill and competence enhancement it will be done, okay, for student. Okay, student will be able to identify the various power losses in the given system. So this will come to know once the audit is done, and suggest the method to plug in the losses and increase the efficiency. Once again, once if you go through the energy audit, definitely will come to know the where exactly the losses are occurring, so that can be how it can be minimized, and we can introduce the energy efficient technologies. And the third point is identify the new methods for energy efficient technologies. As we have already know, unit number 2, 3, 4, 5 will be concentrating on this particular aspect. So once if they go through 3, 4, 5, definitely student can able to identify the new methods for energy efficient technology. And finally, so conduct the energy audit survey. Okay, you can able to conduct energy audit, the two electrical energy audit and he can find the losses, and he can suggest energy conservation methods. And finally, so the application of this particular subject or course, so it will be applicable for even industry sectors as well as all the domains in other domains. Okay, so here it includes your education institutes. We can go for energy audit of education institutes, your malls, supermarkets, or any industry for that matter. So we can do electrical energy auditing, and we can suggest some conservation methods. We can find out where exactly the losses is happening, and accordingly we can suggest some conservation methods. And finally, what are the job roles students can take up after undergoing the course? So he or she uh, can become a energy auditor and energy manager. So this is about the course called Electrical Energy Conservation and Audit. So this course the can be opted for, except electrical students, all other branch students can be up for this subject. Okay, so this is what the brief introduction about electrical energy conservation and auditing. Okay, so definitely you'll be learning exciting exciting concepts related to electrical energy conservation and auditing. So thank you very much. So if you want any details, if you want any details regarding this course, you can contact me, Professor Ramesh GB. I will be available in staff room number AF2, okay, electrical department. At any point of time, you can come and contact me to discuss about this subject. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, dear students. This is Santosh Kulkarni from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. So, the subject which I am presenting, this is artificial neural networks. This will be handled by Dr. Pratibhya ma'am, and I'll be presenting just the overview of this subject today. So, artificial neural networks. So, researchers they use ANN, it's commonly called as ANN, uh, algorithms based on brain function to model complicated patterns and forecast issues. So, ANN is a deep learning method which arose from the concept of human brain biological neural networks. So, they are among the most powerful machine learning algorithms which are used today. And the development of ANN was a result of an attempt to replicate workings of the human brain. So the workings of ANN are extremely similar to those of biological neural networks. So although they are not identical, ANN accepts only numeric and structured data. So as you can see here in this, artificial intelligence is a major part where the processing where the computers possess the same characteristics of human intelligence, where including reasoning, interacting, and thinking like we do. So then comes the machine learning. Inside that we have neural networks, and inside that we have deep learning. So basically, machine learning, these are the technologies that can accomplish specific tasks. As you can, as we, day-to-day life, get recommendations on the Instagram or all the social media that we use, YouTube and other things. So it is all due to the machine, the pattern that we search or the data that we search on these particular social media handles. In so the reason for this is the algorithm that is running behind, as I mentioned. So inside that, we have a neural networks, a specific group of algorithms which are meant for machine learning. So which models the data using graphs of artificial neurons. So those neurons are the mathematical models that mimic how the neuron works in the brain. So digging more depth, we have deep learning, so which comes from the fact that the real algorithms are trained, run on deep neural networks. So these are just neural networks with usually 3 or more hidden layers. So cat, dog, these all are living beings. They have a brain, they have thinking ability. Only thing is they cannot speak like human beings. They do also have a pattern because they also have neurons. So they do have a pattern. As we can see here, this is how actually the pattern is replicated in neural networks. We are seeing a neuron. So the dendrites, they give inputs as we have here. Okay, biasing happens and we have an output. So this is structure of artificial neural network. Uh, the input layer, a hidden layer, and then the output layer. All the processing that happens in the hidden layer. So the applications, example is handwriting recognition, um, traveling salesman problem, image compression, and stock exchange prediction. So seeing to the situations, assuming like considering that there is a war going on, or there is some major international level mishap that has happened. So how that will affect the stock market. So that will be predicted using artificial neural networks. So this is one simple example that we can consider. So a human brain can do all these things. So we can use web for searching. We can do speech recognition. We do remember people just by their uh, just by the way they speak, or just by the sound that comes from the vocal cords of people. Okay, so just even if blindfolded, we can uh, remember, we can recognize the people. So the same thing could be transmitted to machines, okay, using artificial neural network technology. So we can recognize objects, even if blindfolded, we can recognize objects, or also language translation we can do. We can have self-driving cars. So all these, as a human being, we can do these things, uh, but machines cannot do so. We need to train the machines to do this. So ANN is all about that training. So the major role that you can target after undergoing this course is of a data scientist. You can see the average data scientist salary is around 7 lakh rupees. The entry level data scientist can earn up to 5 lakhs per annum. Mid level data scientist with 5 to 9 years of experience, you can see the salary increases uh, like up to uh, 10 lakh rupees per annum. And as your experience and skills grow, your earnings rise dramatically. As senior level data scientist, see what is the uh, salary they you can expect. Okay, it is almost 17 lakh. So yeah, with this, I would like to end the presentation. Thank you. Hello students, this is Santosh Kulkarni from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. So the open elective being offered by our department for 7th semester students. Name is Computational Intelligence, subject code, and this is for 7th semester. And I'll be handling Santosh Kulkarni. My name is Santosh Kulkarni. I'll be handling this particular subject. So this is the outline of the presentation: introduction, prerequisites, skills and competencies enhanced after undergoing this subject, applicable industry sectors and domain, industry is offering the job opportunities, job roles in the market. So this is the brief, the syllabus. Initially, you'll be going through the introduction of computational intelligence. Okay, so an overview will be given. Here again, you'll be studying about the neural networks, fuzzy logic, uh, evolutionary computation, swarm intelligence, and machine learning. So fundamentals. Then in the second unit, we'll be learning about fundamentals of ANN, wherein perceptron, uh, artificial neuron implementation, different activation functions, uh, various logic developments, algorithms, and applications will be taught here. So later on, we will be going through applications of ANN, image and speech recognition, language processing, time prediction, pattern recognition, and classification. Unit number 3 will be studying about fuzzy set theory and fuzzy system, uh, where in introduction to fuzzy set, membership, operations, properties, fuzzy relation. Okay, and then you'll be studying about the fuzzy system, and then finally the applications of fuzzy system. Associative memory in the unit number 4, how memories can be associated, like how memories are associated with fuzzy logic. Okay, and especially in pattern recognition and retrieval of fuzzy logic systems. Applications of associative memory, you'll be studying. In that, you'll be studying about speech recognition, again, object recognition, tracking, video processing, image processing, natural language processing, and financial forecasting. Also, fault diagnosis and anomaly detection in complex systems. So, in unit number 5, we'll be studying about applications of neurofuzzy systems, wherein we'll be studying about neurofuzzy system fundamentals, neurofuzzy modeling, pattern recognition, time series prediction, and fault diagnosis, and neurofuzzy applications in healthcare. Uh, Prerequisites are mathematical fundamentals and set theory, and fundamentals of linear algebra you'll be requiring. Skills and competencies enhanced is you'll be able to develop a comprehensive understanding of computational intelligence, fuzzy logic, and neural networks. You'll be able to explore and analyze various neural network architectures and their applications. And you'll be able to acquire in-depth knowledge of the fundamental principles, concepts, and operations of fuzzy logic. Applicable industry sectors, healthcare, of course, transportation, e-commerce, real estate, travel, banking, everywhere artificial intelligence is used. This is part of artificial intelligence. So you can find various applications in all these fields listed. Industries offering opportunities. You can see the listed industries here. Job roles, you can enter as a machine learning engineers, which focus on research, design, and implementation of models to help machines in to make choices. Or data scientists create predictive models to solve real world problems, obtaining insights from data and presenting them. Then finally, you'll be getting a job role as a data engineers, wherein you cleanse the data, massage the data, and then pipeline the data and ensure it is formatted correctly for the intended use. As software engineers can create a software and using AI. So product managers identify what users find valuable in the product. You can go for system architecture, or as an architect, you have deep understanding of the entire machine learning ecosystem. So the long-term career goals you can target for this.
Good afternoon, students. So, myself, Dr. Sudhindra B. Deshpande, Associate Professor from Department of Information Science and Engineering. So, I'll be giving you an introduction about the open elective, that is Introduction to Database Application Designing. So, this is the open elective offered by Department of Information Science and Engineering. So, the subject mainly deals with database application designing. And this is a 3-credit course with 40 hours of teaching content. So let me go through the syllabus content that you will be learning, you'll be going through. So we have 5 units. Probably some prerequisites for this subject is you should know the basic fundamental programming concepts. C is also fine. C also one of the basic programming languages that suffices this. Apart from that, if you have learned Python, Java, basic Python and Java also are more sufficient to take this subject. So first unit will deal with the introduction to the databases. So we'll be learning what exactly is the database, how database is important from the engineering domain, what are the different types of databases, and then we'll learn database management system. What exactly is database management system? What is data and how to deal with the data? What are the different types of the data? And to store these data, how the database management system is required. So that we'll cover in our first unit. In the second unit, we'll advance a little bit with establishing a relation with respect to the data that we have studied in first unit. So to identify the relationship between the data that we have identified. So we need to establish the relationships between the data. So that will be covered through a entity relationship model, that is a ER model, which is a graphical model, a diagrammatic representation of the data model. So in that, we'll try to relate how the data that we have identified with respect to a particular scenario or the context. So that ER model will help us diagrammatically, logically to understand how the data is related to each other. We'll try to establish the relationship between the data. Then proceeding further, we'll understand a schema diagram again to define more concrete relational to make up concrete relationships. Again, we proceed with schema design. Then there are some normalization techniques. Then there are entity relationship diagrams. Through this again, finally, this second chapter, second unit deals with to establish a proper relationship among the data that we have found with a particular scenario. And in the third unit, once in the first unit to identify, we study the basic things. In second unit, try to establish the relationship. Now in the third unit, we try to, once our database is ready, then the third is we need to study a query language that's called as SQL, structured query language, which covers two important aspects, DDL and DML. So DDL stands for data definition language and DML stands for data manipulation language. That is, these are the two, two parts of SQL. So in this, it is basically a query that is a search. This is a search engine where once we prepare our data and we prepare the database, then we store the data accordingly. Once the data is stored, the next is to fetch the data that matches the particular query. So that is nothing but the SQL. So we are going to query the database. We are going to shoot the database a particular query and it will fetch that particular data and it will make a display of that particular data if it is available. So this is what we learn with respect to SQL. The data definition language DDL, it mainly deals with populating the data into the database. So here we design the database and then we find the data and we populate the data. Means a suitable data will be put into the tables that we have identified in this database design. So there are various structures that come across. In that we populate, means we put the actual data and then using DML we start getting those data. So this is what we learn in SQL. Then in the fourth unit, we proceed with advanced SQL programming, where we'll be learning more complex queries, and that is called as joins. Then we'll be learning aggregation functions, then grouping, views, indexes, and transaction management. So here we will, in the third unit, we'll study the basics of SQL, and in the fourth unit, we move a little bit advanced SQL, so that is a structured query programming. So which will cover these aspects. And in fifth unit, we actually try to develop an application, whatever we have learned through our 4 units. The final fifth unit that will deal with an application that we're going to develop using a Python, Java, or any language web programming. If you are comfortable with web programming, that is also okay. So finally, we'll come up with whatever you have learned through the 4 units. We'll be coming up with an application development and a database connectivity for that. A database generally works in backend, and application will be a front end. So we need to connect an application to the backend, which will interact with the database, and in between the SQL queries, how to use them, how to use the SQL queries. So the SQL queries will be bridge between the database, which is at the backend, and the application that you have developed. So these are the 5 units that we cover in database application designing. The subject is mainly designed with a good flow, and so that other branch students can easily understand. This is actually a software based subject, and application using a software can be done here. So the basic learning objectives of this is, you will be having an understanding of the database systems and its importance, and you'll be learning how to design the database, and then you'll be learning about the SQL programming and how to do the data manipulation and retrieval, and you will be developing a database driven applications. So these are the learning objectives, and these are the 5 units that we'll go through. So after completion of the subject, each student should be able to achieve these course outcomes. You will be understanding about fundamentals of database system, database design, what is data, what are the different types of data, what are the different relationships that you can establish between the data, what is and then this is what you will be learning about, basically fundamentals, definitions, and keywords that come across the database. The second, there is, you'll be giving based on the scenario, you'll be analyzing the scenario. A real time application will be given to you, a real time example will be taken, and that you're going to analyze with respect to the fundamentals that you have learned, and you will be developing means you will be actually designing a ER diagram and normalization techniques. That is how you are going to analyze the relationships between the data with a practical essence, a real time essence. Then once you analyze and come with a design, or you design with an ER model, you will be ending with a concrete design of the database. Then you will be learning, demonstrating the SQL fundamentals that you have learned to populate the data and to fetch the data from the tables, from the database. So by doing all these things, the final goal is to understand the overall application development that interacts with the database, and to demonstrate your fundamentals that you have learned, followed with a developing an application. So these are the course objectives defined once you go through these particular this particular subject. So the standard books that we refer is Navate, Elsmare, and Navate. Okay, there are other books also like Morris, Cornell Carlos, Stephen Morris. Some reference books and textbooks are here, so we can refer the books according to our uh, depending on the units and depending on the applications and scenario. We'll refer uh, to get whatever the maximum extent we can find the applications, real time scenarios. So we'll refer the books. And coming to CI and the SWD component. So basically, already you have gone through this. You know about the CI component since it is a theory 300. So two IAs will be there, assignments will be there, and projects or case study will be there. So total that comes to 100 marks of CIE, and SWE will be around 100 marks with 3 hours duration. So that you will be writing a 3 hours exam during your semester end examination. Okay. And basically, once you learn this subject, how this subject is going to help you out in the industry. That is our main focus. So this is actually the base of the IT industry. So without DBMS, survival of IT industry is difficult. This is a very, very fundamental subject. And like for house, how the structure is important. Similarly, for an industry, DBMS also is very, very important. For everything, there is a data is available. Now, how to maintain that data, how to store the data. So we are surrounded by the data, and how to manage this data is one of the important aspects. So DBMS is one such subject which is very much essential in the job, in the IT industry. And there are many opportunities with respect to DBMS. So it can be used in healthcare. It is used in finance, is being used. It is used in e-commerce. It is used in education. It is used in government. So these are some of the examples that probably you are seeing. When you go to the hospital, there is a patient data management available. When you go to the finance, your fraud detection, transaction processing, banking, and all those things, whatever you see, the database is behind it. And then e-commerce, like when you visit your Amazon, Flipkart, right? So there, whatever the product catalogs you see, that is nothing but the database that works behind it. Then if you go to any educational institute, there is a student information systems that is storing of the students information, like your marks are there, your basic details are there, your demographic details are there. So all this information is stored using database. Then in the government sector, census data, public service portals. So in many the information, wherever there is a information comes, database comes into picture. So these are different industries, domains there where the career opportunities are available. Now let us understand what are the different roles that you get. So there is a role called as DBA. It's called as database administrators. So they are basically do the administration with respect to the data. Then there are database developers. So they actually develop the database. They write the queries, they trigger it, they finally they develop whatever the application is developed. They are developers for that. Next is data engineer. So data engineer is nothing but he actually deals with the data. So he tries to maintain the data. He try to it's parts of ETL, extract, transform, and load. So mainly he deals with the transactions over it. Then SQL developer. So generally he does with SQL queries and scripts, right? So reports, he generates the reports and all. So this is SQL developer. Then further, these are some of the technical roles. Then there is some analytical and business roles. You can become a data analyst. You can become a BI developer, business intelligence developer. Then you can become a data scientist. If you know the database, how to work, data is there, what kind of data is there, how to retrieve the data and all. So you can become a data scientist. You can analyze the data. And then application and system roles. There are software developer. You can become application developers. You can develop ERP systems specialist like SAP and Oracle ERP. Like whatever the ERPs are there, you can become part of developing those ERPs. You can also become CRM data manager like Salesforce and HubSpot. They mainly deal with the data, so you can become CRM data manager. And then security and compliance roles are also available. You can become a data analyst, governance and analyst, right? Where you can ensure the quality, security compliances, and you can make the policies and all. Then you can become the database security specialist, right? So you can make encryption, decryption, managing the roles, finally dealing with the data. So you can provide the security for this as such. Next, you can also, these are the emerging fields presently that are coming up. So you probably knowing about clouds that are being used, cloud where the data is being stored and managed globally. So you can become a cloud database engineers where you'll be managing the clouds like AWS, Azure, GCP, right? Using SQL and all. You can also become big data engineer. Whatever the database we are talking about, this is just a beginning to learn about the databases, basic databases. But if you explore more, Hadoop, Spark, NoSQL are part of big data. So where uh, millions, trillions of data is stored and how to handle this data, you can become a big data engineer. Then you can also become a NoSQL database specialist. So mainly we'll deal with NoSQL. So like MongoDB, Cassandra, these are some of the tools or the database platforms. So we can become experts in that. So these are some of the roles of that is industry provides these different uh, roles, job roles. Once you learn the database, so whatever in the subject we are learning, this is the basics of database. But to empower more and to become more perfectionist in the subject, right? So again, further you need to study it, but whatever we are covering in these 5 units, right? So it gives an essence of database application development. So going, it's a huge subject actually, but we have structured it in such a way that any non-technical student, like our other department students, if you know about little bit of programming language, right, and application development, right, so you can take up this subject and you can just explore about this subject. So this is about database, introduction to database application designing. Okay, so any queries, anything are there, you can contact me to discuss about this subject. Okay, so okay, thank you.
And simpler stuff. Hello, good morning to one and all. I am Professor N.V. Karekar, working in the Information Science and Engineering Department. We are offering a open elective, Introduction to Data Science and Analytics. The subject code is 22 IS 752, and it is a 3 credit course. Okay. Nowadays, you might have aware about on the internet and all, the buzzword is the data science, right, and analysis. It is concerned with the analysis of the important data. For example, if you take a DMart, right, in the DMart, the role of the manager at the end of the day is to check, right, what are the products which are getting maximum sold, what are the products which are getting minimum sold, right, and what is the time during which the family members are attending that DMart during entire week, what is that product which is getting maximum sold. Okay, so here the science is applied with respect to analysis, identifying the information out of it. For example, if you want to check, say, this one, good day biscuit, how many good day biscuits are getting sold per day or per month, per week. Okay, based on that he can take a strategic decision of ensuring, so yes, this is the product they have to order more in their store, so that it will going to increase the business of that store. Okay, so this is the one example I am quoting. So coming back to the syllabus of this. Okay. And prerequisite for this course is, it is you should know the linear algebra and statistics. Okay. Then the objectives of this course: to introduce concepts of data science and analytics, to demonstrate the fundamentals of data analytics, to implement data analytical techniques to the real world problems. Basically, this subject has been divided into 5 different units. The first unit is concerned with the introduction. What do you mean by a big data? State of the practices in analytics, key role of the new big data system, and all. Okay. The second unit is compromising. Unit 1. Unit 2 is concerned with overview of the time series analysis, ARM model, text analysis steps and all. The third unit is having the regression, linear regression, overview, model description, diagnostics and all. Unit 4 is concerned with overview of clustering. Clustering means what? Grouping the data which are having the similar. Unit 5, time series analysis. Okay. So this totally, it is consisting of 5 units. Each unit is of 8 hours. Then next, the prescribed textbooks for this David Derchi and Billy Heller, and we can refer the e-sources for this. At the end of this course, okay, the learning outcomes of these courses are to make use of data science models for the real world problems, to develop model using concepts of data analytics, to analyze the results of data analytics, apply their learnings through a course activity. And the scheme of evaluation for this will be totally the CIE, it will be for 100 marks. Two eye tests will be conducted of 30 marks, so it will be evaluated to 62 assignments of each 10 marks. Then one course project or case study we have to conduct. So totally it will be evaluated for 100 marks. And similarly, we have a SAA exam, which will get conducted for 100 marks. Okay. The advantage of this course, okay, if you come from any branch, it will not make any difference. Mechanical engineers, they having this application with respect to the products they are getting manufactured. Then similarly, the softwares, electronics people, they can relate this to the industry. Okay, so I urge, it is one of the good opportunity for you to learn the new things which are taking place in the real world at industry. Thank you.
So here we are going to discuss regarding the product design and rapid prototyping. So rapid prototyping is also associated with the product design. Now in the screen you can see there are so many products. So to develop all these products, you should go for a product design, and to make a prototype before manufacturing in volumes, huge volumes, so you have to go for prototyping. For that, we are going to study the last 2 units in this subject, that is rapid prototyping. If you look at the syllabus here, product design and rapid prototyping. So this syllabus is of 3 hours, 3 credits. It is an open elective course, 3 hours of teaching per week. The course learning objectives of this course, if you look at this, to understand the basics of a product development, to explain how to identify the needs of the customer if you want to improve the product or develop a new product, and how to generate the product specifications for a particular product depending upon the customer needs. Then third course learning objective is to explain how to select a concept and testing for that product. And last 2 units have two learning objectives, that is to impart the knowledge of different prototyping methods, that is rapid prototyping itself, and to impart the knowledge of different types of rapid prototyping optimization. So these are the core learning objectives. So in this, the first three course learning objectives are with respect to the product design, and the last two are with respect to the rapid prototyping. Then if you look at the syllabus in unit 1, you have introduction, you have the subtopics development, process and organization, and product planning. So to start a product, you need the planning for the product. Then in unit 2, you have the subtopics identifying the customer needs, product specification, and concept generation. So to develop a new product, you need a specification for that product, and you have to generate number of concepts for a product. And finally, you are supposed to finalize one concept out of these generated concepts. Unit 3 have a subtopic that is concept selection, concept testing, and product architecture. So all these 3 units are related to the product development, and unit number 4 and 5 are related to the rapid prototyping. Now, when you develop a product, you need not have to go for a mass production in huge volumes of thousands and lakhs. You are supposed to test it. To do that, you need a prototype. So, to make a prototype, we need to study rapid prototyping, which are dealt in unit number 4 and unit number 5. So, introduction to rapid prototyping, various methods of rapid prototyping process that we are going to study. Few methods in unit number 4. Unit number 5 also few methods of rapid prototyping, and how do you optimize the rapid prototyping process, that we are going to study in unit number 4 and 5. So, in general, in this subject, product design and rapid prototyping, first 3 units are related to the design of the product. So, how do you arrive at from the customer needs to the final product? How do you arrive at that? Then, in last 2 units, rapid prototyping, to make a prototype, what are the various methods that we are going to study? Once the product is tested using the prototype that is made, we can manufacture in number of units in huge volume. So, that is the base of this subject. So, in all the 3 units, unit number 1, 2, 3, we have case studies on product development. In each chapter, we have the case studies, which will lead to uh, this subject. Then, unit number 4 and 5, we are going to study with respect to the rapid prototyping. And this is a 100% theoretical subject, but we have so many case studies in this subject. And the CIE pattern for this is 2 IA test, 30 plus 30, that is 60 marks, 2 assignments, 10 plus 10, 20 marks, and a course project is also there for 20 marks, which leads to 100 marks. And SEE is pattern, which is of 100 marks, a duration of 3 hours, which is a common question paper of ABC pattern, which consists of 19 questions. Okay. So even though it is written as level 2 of understanding, we can achieve level 3 with some case studies for this subject. The important textbooks which are mentioned for this subject are Carl Ulrich, Ian Gibson, authors, A.C. Chitale and Archie Gupta, uh, authored by these persons, and some online NPTEL courses also we have for this subject. So, this subject is a very important subject with respect to each and every product that is being used nowadays. How to develop the products depending upon the customer needs, uh, and to make a prototype out of that, to test whether it works perfectly or not, and then go for the mass manufacturing of that product. So, this is the subject theme, and it is a theoretical subject with lot of case studies. And the books that are mentioned, first one is product design and development. This is also available in the library. Product design and manufacturing, AK Chitale, it is also available in the library for the first 3 units. For the last 2 units, rapid prototyping, this is the first book. Second book by Ian Gibson, which are mentioned in the textbook list. This is also available in the library. Both soft copies and hard copies are available in the library. So, this is about the subject product design and rapid prototyping.
Good morning. My name is Kurraj D. Gokak, Assistant Professor of Mechanical Engineering. I am here to introduce you about the what is called as the energy engineering. So when we talk about the energy engineering, this is typically known as a power plant engineering, which is studied by the mechanical engineering also. Then the natural question comes, sir, why we need to study about the a core mechanical engineering subject? Please try to understand. If I replace the whole engineering by a single word, it is nothing but the energy. When we talk about the energy, it includes all the how the power is generated and how it is distributed, what are the losses, and what is the other options when we are going to when we are facing the something called as a energy crisis. So this is typically useful for the any of the engineering student. Okay, so basically energy is the single source, uh, a single source for the all the activities. It may be the any appliances or the any PC or any other. It works on the energy or the power. So we are dealing with this. So we have got the in this subject we have got the 5 units. The first unit starts with the steam power plant, where the in India we are almost all getting 75% of our all the power with the steam power plant only. So we'll discuss about the what is the list of the types of the fuels, how the steam is generated, equipment for burning the coal in the lump form, stokers, different types, advantages and disadvantages of using the pulverized coal, equipment for preparation and burning of the pulverized coal. These things we will be discussing. And also we'll discuss something called as a steam generator, such as a Benson and the Schmidt steam generator. Please try to understand the names may be very new to you, but please remember we are getting the power because of these generators only. Whereas in the second uh, unit, we'll be studying about the chimneys, the natural force induced balance draft, ash handling system, calculations and the numericals involving the height of the chimney to produce the given draft, types of the cooling towers, natural draft cooling tower, and definition the terms used for the power plant economics, such as the demand factor, load factor, plant capacity factor, use factor, diversity factor, and load curve, and the simple numericals on that. Whatever the second B you are saying, it deals with the something called as the plant economics, how the fares, the tariffs have been fixed like that. Unit number 3 deals with the diesel engines power plant, where we talk about the diesel engines in the applications of the diesel engines in the power field, layout of a diesel power plant, auxiliary such as the cooling and the lubrication systems, advantages and disadvantages of the diesel engine power plants, base load and the peak load. Next one, we'll unit number 3B will study about the hydroelectric plant, which is the oldest used power plant, layout of the plant, hydrographs, flow duration curve, unit hydrograph and numerical, storage and pondage type of the plants, low, medium and high head plants, penstock, water hammer and surge tanks will discuss. Unit number 4 will touch about the nuclear power plants, where we'll talk about the principle of the operation, how the nuclear fusion will take place and fission will take place, what are the types of the nuclear reactor, what are the elements, their functions, and what is the problem with the environmental aspects, that will discuss. Unit number 5 is dedicated to the renewable energy, where we'll talk about the why we need the renewable energy sources, although we are getting the power from the conventional sources, what are the sorry, what are the problems with the conventional sources and what are the options and why we need this one. We'll start with the solar, then wind, then the other types such as the OTEC, tide, etc. This is the brief syllabus of the subject called as a energy engineering. So when you talk about the books, it is there are 6 books we have got as a recommendation, as a textbook or the reference. Our library has got the large number of the books available for this one. And one point I need to mention, that this particular subject is 80% theory and 20% numericals. Okay, so far it is very much essential for especially the electrical engineer students as well as the civil engineer students, because it involves the uh, deepest root of their engineering through this subject. Okay, for others departments such as the EC. We have got the something called the PLC and the other controlling systems, how they have to use. These will be somewhere useful for your further career for the in the field of the energy engineering. I repeat the once again, please remember the energy is a single word which can replace whole of the engineering. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon all. I'm Dr. Kiran Thabas from Chemistry Department. The department is floating an open elective course for 7th Sem students on advanced materials. Objective of this course aims to equip you all with knowledge and skills to understand, design, and utilize cutting-edge materials in various applications. We all know that you engineers use a different type of materials, right? Starting from metal, metalloids, non-metal, polymers, conducting polymer, non-conducting polymer, different types of materials you all use it, right? This course will help you to decide which material is best for which applications. This includes developing expertise in material selection, processing, catalyzation, and performance evaluation with focus on sustainability and innovation. And why this course? You all know that advanced materials are crucial for you because you are the engineers. You enable innovation, improve performance, and enhance sustainability. And these material offers superior properties like enhanced strength, durability, and electrical and thermal conductivity, leading to more efficient, lighter, and longer lasting products. Furthermore, you play a vital role in addressing global challenges like climate change by enabling advancements in renewable energy and sustainable infrastructure and sustainability across various industries. That's the reason this course plays an important role in your for the future. And what this course involves, what is in syllabus? We have optical materials, industrial materials, new materials like fullerenes, carbon nanotubes, electronic material and superconductors, mechanical materials, maybe ceramic, maybe buckyballs, nanotubes, those things, right? And we are studying this because not only you gain the knowledge you apply in your industry future, it also, right, look at this one example for optical materials, it's global market. The market study says that in 24, it is around $10.6 billion. There's a market value after 10 years will be $17.9 billion, almost is going to double. It means that if you study this one, you can start your own industry to manufacture these optical materials. You can contribute to a GDP. This is one reason for this we can study these optical materials. What are these optical materials now? And it will say it's a light-driven innovation done by engineers. And this optical materials mainly, right, it contribution is done by non-linear optical materials, right? That contributes towards the sensors, photodynamic therapy, optical switches, mainly for electrical and electronic engineers, high resolution spectroscopy, optical fibers, which are the one which we are nowadays used widely for data transfer, data storage, as well as communication, telecommunication. So after studying this, you can see that which are the material used for these things. That is optical fibers, manufacture for optical fibers, maybe some semiconductor materials which are used as an optical material to transfer and store the data. Even for this, you can use a crystalline as well as ceramic material, even normal glasses with a little modification, optical polymers. This is a which is the one which is used nowadays widely. Optical polymers are used for telecommunication, data transfer, data storage, and optical switches and widely. And after this optical material, we're going to focus on high energy materials. We know that almost all production industries use energy. It may be low energy, moderate energy, or high energy, right? And all these energies we are going to study in this. And we have fuels and explosives. Fuels, which type of fuels used in industries, right? And what are the characteristics, how they are used, how we can modify these fuels to enhance its capacity, even explosives, right? In a larger industry where you require high amount of energy, they use explosive. Which type of explosives they use? Maybe a TNT, a dynamite, how they are synthesized, how they're applied, how they convert this raw material TNT into a industry usable explosive. Even propellants can be used. When you hear about the propellants, you easily imagine about the rockets, right? Not only rockets, the propellants are used in normal usage. A car having an airbag that use a propellant. Whenever car hit with an accident, right, the propellant explodes, produces a minimum amount of energy, which expands the airbag. That means that these propellants or fuels can be used in day-to-day life, even for a normal usage as for industrial usages. With that, paints and varnishes, you're going to focus on these things. And we know that whatever buildings are painted nowadays. All right, the paints are coming with a hydrophobic, hydrophilic as a dust resistance paints we are using nowadays. How we are going to prepare these hydrophobic paints, hydrophilic paints, varnishes. As we know that these paints and varnishes are usually used for decorative purposes, but nowadays used to impart a specific property for that particular applications. Those are going to focus on this, and we're going to use after that study about the smart polymers, nanocarbon materials. Smart polymers, and we know that with different types of polymers we are using nowadays, starting from insulator to conductor, semiconductor, photoconductive polymer, transparent polymer. We are using fibers, we are using cushions, and number of different applications of polymers are there. In that particular, we're going to study about the conducting polymers. To use nowadays largely by electric and electronic engineers. It can be used as a supercapacitors, can be used in nano coating to change its properties. It can be used as a catalyst in a biomedical industry, sensors, as well as these carbon nanotubes, allotropes of a carbon, buckyballs and carbon nanotubes widely used nowadays almost all industries, starting from mechanical, civil, electrical, and not electronic, because of this different properties. It highly conducting nature, high strength. The conducting power of this one's almost more than that of the copper. We use it widely nowadays, right? And that is graphene, and as well as the carbon nanotubes and the graphene, whose strength is almost 20 times more than the steel as compared to its volume or weight to volume ratio. It can be used in wide ranges. Right? Aeronautical engineers, in other words, whatever their aerospace parts, body parts, are made up of this graphene, just to minimize its weight as well to increase its strength. Then you're going to focus on molecules to microchips. You're going to use the different types of molecules, right, which is used widely in electrons, electrical devices like LED and LCD. You're going to differentiate what is LCD, what is LED. Almost all you are going to use LCD, LEDs in today life, starting from the wristwatches, screen, TV, whatever you use it. Either they're made up of LCD or LEDs. What are the differences? Which material is used in that? How you're going to enhance their property, you're going to study in this, as well as you're going to study the molecular conductors and superconductors. It's the one which is used nowadays widely by all the engineers. We use conductive material. We all know that whatever conductive material you use nowadays is a metallic material. That is mainly a copper. You're going to use it, right? After that, we're going to use aluminum because lightweight. Right, even though its efficiency is lesser than the copper, you would use aluminum. After that, we started with using a graphene or a graphite carbon nanotubes, which is a conductive material. For that, you're going to use now superconductor molecular conductors. These are the one which conduct electricity higher than that of your normal materials at lower temperature. Those are superconductors. Now we are going to focus in this. You're going to focus that is molecular conductors, superconductors at ambient temperature. You're going to study these things can be applied for various fields like magnetic levitations. That is for trains. Where it can be used in storage, data storage, as well as telecommunications, transfer of data from one place to other places, super speed. Right, you're going to study the build in the future, that is advanced ceramics and beyond. That is, in this case, you're going to study the advanced ceramics as auxiliary materials like carbon, diamond, graphite, buckyballs, largely used in almost all field, especially in medical field as medical implants, even joining the bones, manufacturing teeth, artificial teeth is used largely. That is a ceramic material. It is oxidic material like carbon, diamond, graphite, buckyballs has a specific structure by which it can increase conductivity, strength. Because of the strength can be used in various applications. Because the conductivity of this material can be used wherever required. A lightweight conductive material can be used as a light fixtures, right? Even the signboards which are available on the you can see the market board shops, right? In that we are going to use this as a conducting material as well as the light emitting materials. What's the outcome of this one now? Right. In this case, you're going to understand fundamental property and application of non-linear optical material, including crystalline, ceramic, semiconducting, and polymer-based optical materials. You're able to explain the composition, functionality, and industrial significance of chemical-based materials such as paints, varnishes, fuels, explosive propellants, and so on. Able to analyze the structure and electrical behavior of modern carbon-based nanomaterial, including conducting polymer, fullerene, carbon nanotubes, carbon allotropes, silica-based material used in fiber optics and smart systems. Evaluate the working principle and technological applications of molecular conductors, LED, LCD, and superconductors, electronic display systems. Mm. As it says that this course is meant for almost all the engineers. All the engineers can opt for this one. Definitely going to improve your skill, right? Either you can apply it in your industry life as well as you can start your own industry by looking at the market. Thank you.
Good afternoon, student. I am Dr. Prasanna Kaujalgi from Chemistry Department, loaded with the 7th semester 1 elective course on corrosion science and technology. This course is intended to provide a brief introduction with an emphasis on fundamental theory and testing methodologies. It offers a comprehensive interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary outlook with core knowledge from the different fields of metallurgy, material science, together with the electrochemistry, and surface science. Corrosion science and technology plays an important role across multiple engineering disciplines by helping preventing material degradation, extending component lifespan, ensuring safety, and reducing maintenance cost. Here, uh, I'll give the brief introduction about the corrosion science, how it is useful in different engineering applications. Uh, who are going to study this corrosion? So almost all engineers, you can see the picture here. Chemical engineering, chemistry, civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, all these people are studying the corrosion. And why this corrosion engineering is required? Corrosion engineering is a relatively new profession dedicated to slowing or reversing the and avoiding the impact of corrosion on material structures. Engineers are responsible for the development of materials, coatings, and treatments that are less vulnerable to corrosion. So, engineering knowledge is incomplete without understanding the corrosion because aeroplanes, ships, automobiles, and other metal based structures cannot be designed without the knowledge of corrosion. So, in situation where the corrosion is likely to cause hazardous and expensive situations, corrosion engineers can recommend and implement the solutions. So, how this is how the corrosion is important. Look at these pictures here. These are the bronze statues uh, which are undergoing corrosion, and hence they have been coated with patina. So that is a chemical alteration of the copper content, and that produces the basic carbonate, basic cupric carbonate, and how the corrosion is going to protect the metal structures. These are the impacts of corrosion. Corrosion affects, you can look at the chart here. Corrosion affects nearly every aspect of modern society. In many of these areas, however, its impact is very difficult to quantify also. Look at the chart, almost all fields you can see. And why corrosion is important to study? Worldwide, it is estimated around 2 trillion to 4 trillion dollar are lost, metal structures are lost due to corrosion every decade. However, the true cost of corrosion to society are even more pervasive and in practice difficult to compile. Several studies, including a recent National Research Council report on corrosion education, have described both economic impacts of corrosion and less measurable impacts, such as loss of readiness involving national security. Corrosion can affect public health, the environment, and the global sustainability in ways that cannot be quantified simply in terms of GDP loss. The weakening of the nation's energy and transportation infrastructures have impact impacts that greatly exceed those that are purely financial. State of art corrosion research, therefore, has the potential not only to contribute significantly to many other fields of science and engineering, but also to enable them. Coming to the mechanical engineering, the how corrosion is helpful. Mechanical components like gears, bearings, shafts, pipelines, machine structures are often exposed to harsh environments. So corrosion is applicable like how corrosion prevention improves the durability of machinery and reduces wear and tear. It helps in selecting corrosion resistant alloys and surface treatments, essential in the maintenance of hydraulic systems, engineering, engines and heat exchangers. Okay. So the use of stainless steel in food processing machinery to avoid rust and contamination are the useful things. And look at the pictures here. The Titanic, which was immersed in the water, is because of the corrosion part. Look at the machinery parts which are undergoing corrosion. Electrical engineering. Electrical components such as conductors, terminals, and circuit boards and are sensitive to moisture and chemical environment, and hence to prevent the corrosion connectors and switches, which can lead to circuit failure, ensures longevity of substations, transformers, and transmission lines, informs the use of protective coatings and sealed enclosures for the outdoor electrical equipments. This is how the corrosion protection can help the infrastructure. Similarly, if you look at the corrosion importance of corrosion in civil engineering, infrastructure such as bridges, buildings, pipelines, and water treatment plants, which are exposed to the environmental and chemical attack. Look at the pictures how the pipelines, bridges have undergone corrosion. Applications of this corrosion in civil engineering field, it prevents the structural failure due to corrosion of reinforced concrete, guides the use of anti-corrosion coatings and cathodic protection systems, influences material choice for long-term durability and safety. Coming back to the aeronautical engineering, importance of corrosion in aeronautical engineering. Aircraft operate in corrosive environments like, for example, high altitude or marine atmosphere, and they must maintain structural integrity under extreme conditions. And hence, the study of this corrosion topic or corrosion elective helps in aircraft design using corrosion resistant materials like titanium and composites, essential in corrosion inspection and maintenance protocols for aircraft safety, important for weight optimization without compromising durability, etc. These are the different applications of corrosion control, corrosion subject in aeronautical engineering. Similarly, in electronics engineering, miniaturized circuits and sensors are highly sensitive to environment degradation, and hence the applications of this corrosion topic ensures the reliability of microelectronic components in consumer electronics and aerospace, drives the development of protective coatings and corrosion inhibiting packages, guides printed circuit boards designed to prevent electrochemical migration and corrosion. Finally, to conclude, corrosion science and technology is an interdisciplinary and preventive in nature. Its integration in engineering practices enhances safety and reliability, reduces downtime and maintenance cost, supports sustainable and cost-effective engineering design. Continuous research and technology plays a crucial role in corrosion control. Finally, I suggest that the course is important for you people and is helpful in your engineering career. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm going to talk about the open elective course of Introduction to Astronomy. Uh, so let's look at the brief history of astronomy. So it's a branch of science which deals with the celestial objects, and it has been with us for a long time. The concept of time and calendar they have emerged from the astronomical observations. We have concept of a day because of the Earth's rotation, then the concept of a month because of the motion of the moon. We also have seasons and concept of year because of the Earth's motion around the sun. Uh, then the motion of planets through the sky, different constellations, has given rise to concept of different or has given a rise to astrology, which has nothing to do with astronomy. Uh, Nowadays, we call astronomy as multi-messenger astronomy because there are different ways in which we can explore astronomy. The first one is we can use the electronic radiation. Mostly it is in radio and optical, which are based on the Earth. For other windows of electromagnetic spectrum, we have to go above the Earth's atmosphere. So that's why we have X-ray telescope, Chandra, or there are gamma ray telescope, which are outside the Earth's atmosphere. Then there are cosmic particles, there are neutrinos, then there are gravitational waves, which has recently come up since the direction of gravitational waves, and there are solid constraints like lunar sample. The course outline is as follows. In the unit one, we will review the basics required to understand astronomy. So basics of physics required to understand astronomy. Then unit two and three are dedicated to stars. So first we'll look at the sun, which is the nearest star. Then we see how the sun emits radiation and what are different layers of the sun and what different things goes inside the sun. Then we see how the stars, because sun is a one kind of star, but there are, depending on the mass of star, we have different classes of the stars. They have different temperature and they follow different path of evolution. So, and they also die. So we'll see how these things happen in unit two and three. Fourth unit is dedicated to galaxies, where we see the structure of a galaxy, what are the interstellar medium, and what kind of effects they have. And the last unit is about cosmology, where we will see the cosmological models and the Big Bang theory, which explains the origin of the universe. Also, we'll look at the steady state theory, which was proposed earlier, but now because of the background radiation, we have discarded it. So the kind of opportunities you can have is there are job opportunities in the national level institutes for research. Then there are research opportunities in the universities abroad also. There are outreach programs, opportunities at national level institutes, and can work for, because there is a lot of data that has been generated. So there are opportunities for engineers in these fields. So thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Professor Bhavna Patel from Department of Basic Science, and we are offering you an open elective subject for bioinformatics. So before moving to what is bioinformatics, why bioinformatics? So bioinformatics is a crucial in linking the bridge between bio and informatics, that is a technology. So it is a blend of biology with a technology which will help us to link and to solve the problem of medicines, and that is health and related to disease, as well as for the drug development and discovery. So, moving on to bioinformatics. So, bioinformatics is an interdisciplinary field which uses a combination of computer science, information technology, mathematics, statistics to analyze and interpret the biological data. So, whatever we are going with the analyzing of biological data, that has to be interpreted, and that has to be done with the combination of all the subject which will be helping us to relate with the bioinformatics. So it will help us to go with the health and drug discovery, prediction of protein structure. Not only protein, it will help us to predict all the biological structures in our body. Then we are going for development and interpretation of the different biological database. Then we are going for development of new algorithms and statistics. Then what are the key aspects of bioinformatics? It is a linkage of all the things which will comes with the existence of genomics, where we'll have to have the knowledge of DNA, RNA, and proteins, where we are going for the structural bioinformatics, where we are going for the structural analysis based on the conformation changes. So whatever the conformation changes happening in the cell, that is in case of protein, so that has to be predicted in form of drug discovery, and that drug discovery is based on the personalized medicine which will be developed. Next, with going for algorithm development, we are going for different algorithm development which will help us to link with the computer science. And then data management, we are going for the large data sets, retrieving and formatting it in a better way so that we'll get the accurate result. And we have a data analysis where we are going for the large amount of data which has to be retrieved in a specific way, and based on that we are going with the drug designing. So what is the applications which will be linked with the different subjects such as computer science, electronics, biotechnology, biopython, and machine learning? So all these aspects are linking with the bioinformatics, and it is blending with the biology, because it is helping out in all the ways to go for the skills which you have to go for the programming language, algorithms, that is Python. And when we go for the electronics, you have to have a knowledge of hardware solutions. Then we are having a biotechnological solution, we are having a biology with the technological based applications. Then we are going for machine learning, where we are analyzing the large data sets to get accurate results in a very specified way. Next, when we go for machine learnings in bioinformatics, we have to go for the analysis of biological data, where we are going for efficiently processing the large amount of and complex data, which will be in a easier way. Then we are going for enhancing and understanding the deeper process of biological activity happening in our body. Then we are going for transform bioinformatics, where we are going to go for the knowledge whatever we have got from the computational techniques. We are going to apply it in science and innovation to develop a drug. Okay, and then we are going for development of therapies, where we are creating a new treatments and developing a new medicines, so that it will be really helping in drug discovery and in health related disease. Next, we are going for bioinformatics in drug designing and vaccine development. So, before going for drug designing or any vaccine development, we have to have a core knowledge of all the things which will come linked with the bioinformatics, such as computational technologies, development of programs, and all. So, when we go with the drug development and vaccine development, we are going first is identifying the drug targets. Based on the potentiality of the drug target, we are going with the different bioinformatics tools what have been used. Based on that, we are going to understand the mechanism, how it is working, what is the cause, and at what causes molecular level, and that is helping us to go for the design of vaccine. Then after designing of vaccine, we are accurately and efficiently going for the optimization of vaccine, which will be really helping to accelerate the development of the vaccine in a speedy mode, and then we are going for enhancing that effectively.
Hello everyone. So today I'll be, as by Bhavna madam has told about the initial bioinformatics aspects. So now we'll come to the in detail what are the tools you will be using in this bioinformatics. So like mainly why bioinformatics, she has explained you about this. So in this case of tools, so what are the target sequence? Like we have in our body the DNA, RNA, and you already know since you studied biology, so we have a DNA sequence as well as RNA sequence, that is protein sequence will come. There happens a process of transcription and translation. So we get the sequences. So we can get the database sequences directly from NCBI, that is National Center for Biological Information, where you can get the information of both DNA sequences as well as the protein sequences. In this way, we have very wide range of protein sequence databases where we can retrieve the sequence of whatever we require. Like proteins, we have your albumin, okay, then many enzymes. So all the sequences, whatever they have done with the wet lab thing, so they can be stored in a computer. So these are the databases where we can retrieve that sequence. For example, we are going for any kind of drug discovery. At that time, since it is available in the databases, we can directly retrieve that sequence. So that is the first tools we are using for protein sequence databases. Next is we are going for the matching. So template, whatever we have the sequence, whether it is matching with the database available. So for that we are using BLAST. So we have EMBL, that is European Molecular Biology Laboratory. So where we are going for a process called BLAST. So that is Basic Local Alignment Search Tool, we say. So there are mainly. So from this analysis, we can find out whether they have any matching characteristic with the template we are using. Then after the BLAST, we find out the alignment. So we have to align your template sequence with the target sequence. So we are using for that sequence alignment, how much it is matching. So we have clustol W, and we are using two methods, that is algorithms we are using, that is local and global alignment. So that we can find it out through sequence alignment tools, like we have clustol, muscle, T coffee, and MAFFT. So these are the target sequence where you can find out with respect to alignment. Then comes you have to predict the models. So how you are going to predict that what kind of protein sequence or data sequence. So you can predict different models. You can visualize your entire structure through this modeling. Okay, so that we can generate a homology modeling based template structures. So that we can, it can help to identify any kind of interactions happening, so that we can go for any changes. So based on the idea of these tools, we can predict the structure with respect to what kind of target sequence we have got. So that helps in predicting the homology modeling. So there are some validation tools we are using finally, so that we have in biochemistry, that is a Ramachandran plot. So where we find out the interactions between the carbon, hydrogen bonding and all. Finally, we are analyzing the homology model with respect to some validation tools. So we are checking how accurate is this with the tools. So these are the wide range where we are using the tools in bioinformatics. So this is a general idea what you will be learning in this subject. Okay. And next we'll see with the syllabus coverage. So here the course is bioinformatics, and this is a 3 credit. So total is 40 hours. So here we will understand the basics, since you have already learned with the concept of biology and some Python. So basics of Python we'll be implementing in this, so that it helps in analyzing the things with respect to bioinformatics. So we'll go with a wide range of biological databases, so that you can retrieve the information from that. So we'll also go with the applications with respect to predicting the things. So through Python, you are writing a program and you can get directly the results in that model. Okay. Then what are the prerequisites? So you require basics of biology and basics of Python is required. Okay, so coming to the first unit, so that is introduction to bioinformatics and what are the different databases. So like we'll learn about what is bioinformatics, and you already know what is central dogma of molecular biology. So that is the conversion from DNA to RNA and your protein gene structure. So here we'll again revise with the basics of biology, what is required. Then we'll see what is the application in the field of biotechnology, medicine, agriculture, and computer science. And all these fields are required to get a good in analysis of these structures. Okay, so as I told, we are using mainly the databases like NCBI, National Center for Biological Information, European Bioinformatics Institute, and here RCSB is that is we are predicting the structures with protein data bank. Okay, so we are also using some other like GenBank is there, DDBJ, just like NCBI and all. We can retrieve the sequences, and we'll be studying about protein data bank, and which can be formed in two formats. So we have a FASTA format. So it usually starts with some science and all. So that we'll be studying here. Basically, you will be studying the first unit about the basics, as well as about the formats we are using here, and about the protein and the nucleotide sequence. Then comes the second unit, that is sequence alignment tool. So that is we are using how you are aligning with the template what you have and what the we already have in the databases. So we are aligning. So we are mainly studying here the multiple sequence, as well as with the help of there are some matrices, blossom and all gap penalties. We'll be analyzing how we can align these with respect to homology modeling and all we'll be studying in the second unit. And third unit comes with phylogenetic analysis. So here in this chapter, we'll be studying about the evolution. So how the tree is helping us to find the evolutionary with that model. So that we have different methods of tree building. So that we'll be studying in the fourth unit. So we are using Clustall, okay, and many different softwares we are using for analysis of phylogenetic. Then there are predictive methods. So we have to find out how much it is matching with respect to nucleotide sequences, DNA databases, and that can be found out through these predictive methods in the fourth unit. So we are using mainly here visualization and all. That is, you are visualizing the 3D printed structures. So we are using mainly RASMOL, PyMol, and SPD. So these are the softwares where we are using, or always you also have the tools where we can directly get access with the website also. So you can find out the structures through this. So it helps in analyzing the structures easily. The fifth unit, you'll be learning about the application, how you can use in bioinformatics. So like you can write a Python program and you can run it and you directly get your data from that. Okay, so in spite of going with these data because of bioinformatics, so we are learning the basics first and then we are utilizing that in terms of a Python, how you can incorporate that things into and get your results immediately. So here all together we can get in Python how we can use. So we are analyzing mainly for the purpose of drug designing in agricultural, okay, and also we'll be studying about the IPR and some bioinformatics patents. So this is all about the overall syllabus which we are covering with respect to bioinformatics. Then coming to what are the textbooks we are using. So we are having a bioinformatics like SC Rastogi is there. Then we have Andreas Baxevanis, which is a good book to go with all the informatics. Then there are some reference books like Salzburg and all. So we can go with this. Then coming to what is the scheme for continuous internal evaluation, since it is a 3 credit, so the marks will be internal marks is 100 and external marks is 100. So I 1 and 2 counts for 30, that is 60, and we have 2 OBAs, that is 20 marks, and the course project you'll be given a project to be done and you have to present it. So that is 20 marks. So total counts around 100 marks. The same theory paper will be there, which is for 100 marks, so which follows the same scheme as you have with your core subjects. Okay, so this is all about the bioinformatics. So anything you wanted to know in detail, in much more about this, you can always approach us, me and Bhavna ma'am. Okay, is there here? Okay, thank you, one and all.
Hello everyone. Myself Vinaya Deshpande from Department of Mathematics. We are introducing open elective optimization techniques for 7th Sem and it is for all branches. Okay, let us see the contents of open elective and its salient features. So optimization techniques have long been great importance to engineers. It provides optimized design, operations, and resource, and it also helps to improve reliability and efficiency of system, enhance project planning, monitoring, and control. And also, engineering relies heavily on operation research in many ways, from statistical models for problem solving to helping make decisions based on probability. So let us look into syllabus. So syllabus has 5 units, and first unit we are learning introduction to OR and linear programming problem. Here we are learning evolution of OR and characteristics and limitations of OR, convexity, basic feasible solutions, formulation and graphic solution of a linear programming problem, extreme points, basic solutions, and so on. Next is second unit, that is simplex method and duality. In simplex method, we are learning the solution of linear programming problem with the help of simplex method and canonical and standard form of linear programming problem, optimality criteria, slack and surplus variables, solving primal problem using duality theory. And next is unit 3. Here in unit 3, we are learning transportation and assignment problem. Transportation problem helps us for it helps us for minimizing the transportation cost, and assignment problem helps us to assign the goods to different workers. In formulation of here we are learning formulation of transportation problem, methods of finding initial basic feasible solution, northwest corner rule, algorithm for obtaining optimal solution using a WAM-Moody method, formulation of assignment problem and by Hungarian method and so on. Okay. Next, fourth unit is game theory and queuing theory. In game theory, we are learning formulation of games and games with mixed strategies and solving the games by graphical method, dominance principle, and so on. And here in queuing theory, we are learning its characteristics, pure birth and pure death models, Kendall's notation, Lee notation of queuing, empirical queuing formula, and numericals on MM1 and MMC queuing models. And last unit is that of network analysis. And in this network analysis, we are learning network scheduling by critical path method and PERT, rules of network construction, numbering of the events, and then time analysis, forward pass and backward pass computation, determination of loads and slack times, critical path method, program evaluation technique, cost analysis in networks, etc. Now, let us see role of operation research for engineers. Operation research or optimization techniques provides scientific methods for analyzing complex engineering systems to support better decision making. Engineers use OR for designing and managing production systems, scheduling and resource allocation, quality control and reliability engineering, supply chain and logistics planning, and also it helps to convert real world engineering problems into mathematical models for solution. Role of simplex method, second unit for engineers. Simplex method is a powerful computational tool for solving large scale linear programming problems. Here, production planning, it helps in production planning, inventory management, telecommunication network design, energy systems, etc. And the third unit, transportation problem, it helps to optimize power flow from generating stations to substations. It minimizes routing cost in data packet transmission in telecommunication networks. The assignment problem focuses on matching resources. It is optimally to task at minimal cost or maximal efficiency. And assignment and transportation problems together provide structured mathematical approaches for solving these engineering challenges, often implemented in software like SAP, MATLAB, Lingo, etc. Game theory provides a tool for optimal pricing strategies in construction, infrastructure, projects, and contracts. It also helps designing systems robust to adversarial attacks. Decision making where robots or autonomous systems must interact competitively or cooperatively. Queuing models are essential for predicting machine utilization, waiting times, and in as assembly lines. Also helpful in designing CPU scheduling and memory management and so on. Why to select? Engineers do not work in isolation. They interact with the different disciplines, including operation research. So, operation optimization techniques helps engineers to optimize resources, cost, time, and processes in real world projects. Helps to build skills in problem solving, project management, and system optimization, vital for all engineering fields. Optimization techniques is essential for engineers to design, validate hypothesis, maintain quality control, and create innovative solutions. So, these all are the features of optimization techniques. For any information, for any more information, you can come to Maths department and you can ask the faculties. Thank you.
Good morning. Today I'm going to present a professional elective being offered by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering for 7 semesters. Main idea of this open elective is related to the not only for electronics, it is related to the all the branches students can also offer and get the jobs in core industry. For the main professional electives, for subject name is digital forensic. Subject code 22 EC 751. It's in 7th semester. For all the except the EC student, they can offer for digital forensic. That today I'm going to discuss about the main digital forensics. For main first one is introductions. Second thing is what is required for prerequisite skills and competency enhanced after undergoing this subject, applicable industry and sectors and domains, industries offering job opportunities and job roles in the market for students taking up these subjects. And the main introduction thing is for a digital forensics. And nowadays, everyone, even village people also, they're going to use it in electronic gadgets like mobile, laptops, computers, etc. Also, that this can protect with how they are going to protect their personal data for using digital forensics. And the main thing is it's required for the network forensics through the network, how they can hack the information from the computers, from the mobile, multimedia, email, web server, etc., etc. How they are going to hack the personal information before you need to know how to protect our personal information before using any electronic gadgets. Now you can see here in the database through database, or they are going to hack in the network based, etc. Also, main thing is if you know the some basic idea of networks, you can learn easy to for digital forensics. And the main architecture of computer is required, and the main basics of bias for operating systems. Secondly, it's required for the secondary memory, its organizations. And the third one is for file system, how you are going to protect your file and how we are going to store your personal information, either it may be images, audio, video, etc. Also, that you need basic informations to store in the particular memory. Now you can see here for a skill and competency enhanced after undergoing this subject, you are able to get the more technical skills for the protecting all the electronic device or social media, and also will get more communication skills, how to communicate and how to complain or how to uh, clarify something has happened in your any electronic devices, self motivation, and also you'll get more investigators mindset also if you competency of undergone these subjects. And industries are available in the markets. You can go for the government jobs as a forensics, digital forensics. There is a many government sectors every year. They are going to recruit it for the especially for digital forensics industries, and even Belgaum also it is there in Hubli, and many places are available for the forensics labs. Regional forensics lab as well as main forensics lab is available in Bangalore. Secondly, you can go for banking and financial services and institution insurance, mainly as a system engineer, or you can go for the as a network engineer or as a security engineer. You'll get the job opportunities in the banking and financial service. And also thirdly we'll get the telecom and ITs also. They are going to recruit it for the digital forensics as well as cyber security engineers. And also you can go for the real retail and healthcare and others. Almost in the cyber security and digital forensics, it will cover to the all the industries. You are able to attend, and you can able to try to join and get the jobs for this industries based on digital forensic domain. And industries offer job opportunities for global digital marketplace. We can see a US dollar 39.49 billion by 2027. Imagine how many people shall get the jobs in for the, especially for digital forensics or cyber security for related to the software, hardware, anywhere it's required. Now you can see our digital forensic market has been covered for three viewpoints: software, hardware, and services. You can protect the software, hardware, and also you can try to give the those services or industry services also you can provide. And the company covered Perkin and also FireEye, MSAP, Magnet Forensics, and also you can see here in the digital markets has been covered for the 6 viewpoints BFSI around 2021 to the 2027. You can check the how long industries going on digital forensics as well as cyber security for different domains. And second, next is job roles in the market for student taking up these subjects. Maybe in the for digital forensic analyst for perform basic forensic. And secondly, it's required for the identify vulnerabilities in security system. And also you can get the skills for in-depth knowledge of security threats affected in different sectors, knowledge of fundamentals of computer forensics. The mainly for background, any computer science or IT or system engineer continuous training certification and graduate degrees recommendation. It start from salary from junior $50,000, average $60,000, senior average will get more packages also for this digital forensic as an analyst. Thank you.